Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of CampusCare EdTalks. EdTalks is a platform where educators and leaders come on board and express their viewpoints related to education and society. I, Sakshi Jain, your host of the show, would like to welcome you all. So, our topic of discussion for today is how to get best out of peer to peer interactions in classroom. And to express their viewpoints on the same, we have with us Ms. Geeta Vashne, Education Director. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am. So good to have you here.
Hello and good morning to everyone. Let's start, Sakshi. Yeah.
Absolutely, ma'am. To start off with the session, ma'am, the very first question that I would like to put across to you is what are the tips to encourage positive peer interactions as teachers?
Teachers can do a variety, they can use a variety of strategies there, right? But yes, they would be different for different age groups. So for smaller children, they must start with some group games where they can be assigned roles and then the roles can change for the next turn so that they all get to know, okay, what are group dynamics? Because most important thing that happens in groups is that some kids like to dominate or speak more. So if we set the group rules in place, that what happens when you are together, when you are playing, when you are solving a problem, when you're doing a project. So very simple rules, like there'll be one person in the group who would ask questions, the other would note down, and each one would get an equal chance. Even while they are playing, they would get equal turns. So once these rules, just like we do class rules, once the group rules are clear, then the group work and peer-to-peer interaction becomes more effective. Teachers can start with pair work, where they first pair two people, because once they learn to work in pairs, then they can be made to work in smaller groups of 4 and 5. And then it becomes a team thing also. The whole class participates in a campaign. Roles are assigned. They are monitored how the progress is happening. So this is how slowly they can move from a pair to a bigger group interaction.
Absolutely, ma'am. So, ma'am, how can students improve peer-to-peer relationship? Obviously, when we are starting off with something like you've said that from having a one-on-one to again coming to groups of two, then coming into a team. So, obviously, this will improve and wherein we will have an interaction among students itself. So, what are the other ways the students can improve their relationship with each other?
See, in any relationship, it has to be give first. That is number one rule. Number two is treat others the way you want to be treated.
Absolutely.
And teachers have to demonstrate it first. They have to demonstrate the same thing first. Because children learn more by seeing what is happening in the class, what the teacher is doing. So if we keep this like friendship, it has a very wrong meaning in the minds of some kids. That friendship is that my friend should listen to me, what I'm saying. He should do what I want him to do. So all that has to be, taught again with, some experiential games, some experiences in some camps, some programs in school, that what is friendship? That you allow your friend, you support your friend, you give a shoulder when the friend needs, give the support that the friend needs, that is friendship. So once they learn to give and feel happy about it, I think our job is done, because then they work together far better. Otherwise, this dominance, or you would have seen smaller kids, they want to dominate even while playing in teams. that I want to do the basket of the basketball, or I want to do the goal, or I want batting only. So, those things have to be told, that everybody has to get an equal turn. And two, that, with friends, you give in first. Because then the friend will also give you the same. What goes around comes back. So when we teach these kinds of small practices, values, and habits, only then peer-to-peer interaction. Please remember, Sakshi, that school is the first social organization where a child goes, enters after family. Now, in the family, everybody gives in to the child, especially these days, whatever the child wants. So, when the child comes to a school, he wants the same thing, that, whatever he was getting in the family, so in the class also, he should get the first turn, ma'am should listen to him first, see his work first. All that is there. So, slowly they get into that rhythm that, okay, everyone is there and all of us are going to enjoy and work together and learn from each other. So, those things come in slowly. But then that is a very important experience. And these small, small steps are actually creating the base of citizenship. What do you see on a railway crossing? Everybody wants to go in front. So there is no system of cues followed in the childhood. Otherwise, they would know that, the right thing is to stay in the queue. So these are things which have to be done in school. I mean, school's responsibility. It can't be done in the family. There aren't enough people in the family. People, the numbers are there in the society, is there in the school only, that the child enters. So I think these have to be part of the curricular plan. We have to have modules where we identify that what the children are learning. If our learning outcomes are clear for those modules and games and campaigns, whatever we are planning, then only children will learn those. It doesn't happen by default. It has to be intentional.
Absolutely, ma'am. You have to imbibe certain things from the very start of the age group, wherein you have to tell people what defines what. And absolutely, ma'am, very well said in terms of that. Everyone nowadays you have to make people understand what any sort of relationship is, whether it's friendship, whether it's how you deal with the family, or whether you come outside to a society or school wherein you have different backgrounds to different students and who come together in a common platform and interact with oneself. So it's not always that you give, it's not always that you take, it's always a two-way relationship, a two-way platform wherein you are giving as well as you are in a mood and in the state of mind to receive it as well. So it's just not one particular mind frame of somebody or a student wherein you are. So absolutely, in a home or when you are with your family, the entire attention is to that particular child. Whether so nowadays more of nuclear families are there wherein just one kid or maybe two are there, so everybody enjoys their own special attention and their own luxuries to life. But when you come back to school, here every child, no matter what economical background he's coming from, no matter what background he has in terms of emotional and social upbringing in terms of his home or her home, but yeah, you come to a common platform where everybody is treated the same. And when everybody is treated the same, they should understand the value of how one should have a team, one should have how to deal with different mindsets of people, different behavioral patterns, and how can you create a bond again of any relationship which can improve the understanding of how students should behave with each other. And that's how we can very well build the relationship among peers. So
Yeah.
bringing on to another question, ma'am, using activities in classrooms to build peer relationships, what activities can be inculcated, what ways that can be inculcated wherein we can have these relationship building activities where different people, not only the groups who are in particular with friends, so we always, everybody has a group of friends, but stepping out of that group and talking to somebody who's not even a friend, or maybe we just know that somebody's a classmate or something, but how do we build a relationship with them as well using certain activities. So what activities are there?
So one practice that we follow is that whenever a new student comes to the class, so it is a practice that everyone has to go, greet, introduce, and say, I want to be your friend. So you can imagine if a new child is coming in, whatever class it may be, but if he gets this kind of a welcome from all the classmates, you know how it is. And then interaction goes forward. Then we make sure that somebody is taking care of the needs, that they want to know what is where in school. So we allot mentors, we allot buddies to help them find their way in school, to help them even in academic problems, that they have to cover up portions or they are not understanding anything. So they understand that this is what happens in society, that you help each other. Very small programs, but very, very effective. And we have to have, very clearly stated committees and rules on the student notice boards saying that if you feel you are being bullied or somebody is teasing you, where to go, whom to approach. So you see, this is to tell them that in society there are rules, there are certain do's and there are certain don'ts. And you should know whom to ask for help. So this information also is very, very important. So a child is coming, where is my bus route room? Whom do I approach? Who's my bus route in charge? Where do I get the uniform and books from? You see, the child has also to do a lot himself. It's not that the parents buy and do it, but he wants to get a book exchange. So he should know how to approach, what are the timings. So you see, whenever somebody new is coming in, we have to help in so many different ways. And then it becomes a thing that, okay, you see, whenever somebody is entering into an organization, there has to be this kind of an orientation. So this is a skill that children are picking up. So whenever they are moving on to, you see, they learn this. So when they go for an inter-school program, they know that they have to greet the other teams, meet them, make friends in that way, wishing them all the best, cheering. So all that becomes a part of their behavior. So very small, but as I said, very effective practices. But I think if they are done consciously, they are monitored, I think the general environment in the school becomes very good. Because peer to peer is what they have to live all their life. They are never going to work alone. They are always going to work in groups. So the sooner they understand that what it takes to work successfully with others. One very important rule that we teach our kids in group, work, teamwork, pair work is that you cannot be judgmental about the other person. You have always to respect the opinion of the other person. That's a different mind that is coming from different background. So if I have seen, smaller kids being exploited by making them, do some hard tasks at a younger age, I would be against child labor. But if another person has seen that a kid at a younger age was able to earn and support the family, he would say, no, it is good for some who are able to support their family where nobody else is there to earn a living. So you see, the experiences are different, and so we have this viewpoint. So we should not be judgmental. We should always welcome, because each mind is beautiful. Each mind is different. So it is not necessary that all of us would be thinking alike. We will have differences of opinion. And that is the beauty, that we are different. So we should celebrate that. We should respect that. And then processes that, okay, if you have collected these ideas, if you want to choose one, then what is the process? Then you discuss each idea's pros and cons. Again, non-judgmentally, involving every member of the group. So once they know these are the strategies to work in a group, they know how to prioritize, how to pick mark, okay, how to calculate, how to come down to the advantages and disadvantages of choosing a certain decision, making a certain decision, then it becomes easy for them. Then they know that it's a process. And when you are not judging others, and one more thing, egos are not getting affected. Because the moment you say, oh, this is wrong, or this idea is bad, then the ego is affected, and then you feel uncomfortable in the group. The moment you are taking out that judgmental part in the group work, then everybody is comfortable. It's an idea, it's a different thing. I just thought of it and I'm sharing. So you're allowed to do that.
Absolutely, ma'am. It's just like, how welcoming you are to somebody's thoughts and creativities, how welcoming you are, even though maybe there are people or there are students who may come up with something that has already happened, or, at times may come up with something that needs certain sort of improvisation, or more creative thought process to it. But yeah, so there are ways to, tackle those situations as well. How welcoming, how humbly you correct them, how beautifully you tell them that, so there are certain in between ways wherein you can welcome them. You can humbly and gently tell them that yes, you are right in a process, but we are looking at a broader prospect to it. So yeah, there is a different approach to how you are behaving and tackling with your peers in order to understand and make them understand that yes, your idea is not, pushed away, it's welcome, but come up with something that can add more value to it, so that we can process it further, and we can come down to a conclusion wherein one of the ideas, or one of the creative ways of doing certain things and handling a situation can be put across and well executed. With this thing, ma'am, how important it is for peer to peer to support each other?
I think it is very, very important. Even people who say that I don't need anybody's support are actually lying. Everybody needs support. More importantly, you see, I feel every human being, big, small, aged, with any different background, everybody wants to do good work and wants to be recognized for that. So, your peers' recognition is foremost. It's very, very important. Whatever you might get from others, but the people around you are your world. Somebody sitting in a different city is not mattering to you. What matters is the group around you. So that is an important thing. And that is what, if you have a few good friends, your life is worth living. And what are these few good friends? People who support you, people who encourage you, people who pep you up when you are feeling low, people who tell you, okay, this is tough, but this is right. Stay on. So you see, because everybody has failures in life, you can't succeed without failures. So you need that support from your peers at that point of time that, okay, I'm right, carry on. And I think peer support there is working the best. You may have support from parents, you may have support from teachers, but you always look around for support from your peers. So there it is very, very important. You can't survive alone, especially growing up. Growing up is painful. Every time you have to face a problem, you can't, do something. So you feel really handicapped there. So there, the peer, we say peer pressure. That's the cons of it. So there are pros and cons, you see. So there is peer pressure also. And to deal with peer pressure also, you need friends. So it is something that one has to understand, that in the community we stay together. Shika, there was this very interesting thing we did in one of our leadership programs. There is a science experiment where you show how the current passes through wires. And if you pick up one end of the start of the current, it passes through your body and you can complete the circuit by touching the other end. So, what we tell the teams is that you make a human chain and you start with one person's, putting his hand on the circuit at one end and the last person putting the hand on the other end. When the circuit is complete, then the music will play or whatever we have, the light, the bulb will light. Now, while they do this, it's a game. While they do this, they feel that okay, this energy is actually passing through all of us and making it happen. And if any one of us breaks the chain, then this game will not, the circuit will not complete. So, what are they understanding? That there are vibrations that we send to each other. What was that current? It was a vibration. What is light? It is a vibration. What is sound? It is a vibration. What are feelings? They are also vibrations. And we are constantly passing on these vibrations to each other. And this is what, we do in peer-to-peer support. That when you are feeling low in energy and emotion, you get the positive vibrations from your peer. And it is important, and human beings are made that way to receive these vibrations. So you see, this is different ways in which we can tell them that how important is human to human relation support, and you see the connections that we need to build by sharing, by helping, by doing things together, by celebrating small successes, by sitting together and thinking and fleshing out, okay, what went wrong when we failed. So all that is, you see, part of, as I said, growing up. And peers help a lot in this process.
Absolutely, ma'am. So, how I put across is the peers are the fundamental of any relationship that we follow. So, it is a foundation stone wherein, apart from family and friends, obviously, apart from family and teachers, peers is one thing we really would want to look up to each day. So, personal relationship, I would say that we form is with peers. So, there is one place wherein we can just share whatever and however we are feeling. So there's no coming back, and we don't have to think twice whether being judged, because at an early age nobody has that concept of judgment as well. So nobody knows what judgment is until we grow up to a certain age and understand all these factors. And recognition from peers is like a building stone to it. How the more we get recognized amongst the peers, the more the support that we get from them, the encouragement, the push that a peer can build into another peer, is how we reach heights. No matter how an adult or somebody who's beyond our age come across and tell us the actual thing, the actual point that can be processed to a peer's mind is through a peer. So a friendship or somebody who's at our, because at the end, back of our mind, we know that somebody telling us from our age is somebody who's feeling and able to connect with us in a better way.
Why peer teaching is successful? Only because of this.
Absolutely, yeah. So I remember the moment you said that, I remember that, way back when we were kids, and how doubt solving sessions were among ourselves and not with the teacher first. So everybody would want to, come up to another friend and say, if you have you have done this topic and you're through with it and you know how to deal with the, techniques of it. So will you give me time to solve this session doubt, before going to the teacher? So the very first thing that comes to anybody's mind is the person who's sitting next to you, or somebody you are comfortable talking to. So it is very very important, I would say, that and of course peer pressure comes when you have to have a competition, which is again very beautiful. I would rather say that peer pressure should be there in order to, so And now the current situation is you have a lot of peer pressure in a lot of terms. So there are social media and everything that is putting another pressure to it. But peer pressure, if taken in a positive way, really helps to, reach heights to a aspect wherein even you wouldn't have thought and expected to be the result of it. So peer
Could be
pressure,
inspirational. It could be inspirational also.
yeah, absolutely. So there are times, when peer pressures could lead you to a positive. So we have a lot of situations, we have a lot of inspiration stories from the celebrities and other people who say that, because of this friend, we've come so far and we are living it at a
Absolutely.
luxurious life just because one of my friend pushed me to a certain level wherein even I
Absolutely.
couldn't think at my lowest lows that I could be possibly doing certain things like that. So absolutely. So these are like basic little things that add on to your life and wherein we reach to a level maybe we were dreaming of. So these are the little things. So thank you so very much, ma'am, for imparting your knowledge and experience. And of course, you made everybody. I'm sure the audience also and everybody who will be watching this will recall the value of how choti choti khushiyas is very important for us, and how these little things are the key aspects of a greater and a better life. So
Absolutely.
the takeaway of this session is just how basic a friendship is, and how you have to tell people and explain people how beautiful the relationship is, but how to value them as well. So thank you, ma'am. It was just our honor to have this informative session wherein you've discussed your real life experiences and how you go about in your schools and various activities that you conduct. So ma'am, looking forward to much more sessions like this with you.
And a big thank you to Entire. And I would like to say, peer to peer help you to be. And I think that's the most beautiful situation to be in. Just, you just are yourself with friends. And so peer to peer is prime. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Sakshi.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And with this note, I, Sakshi Jan, the host of the show, would like to sign off. Have a very great day, everyone. Thank you so much. Do subscribe to our channel and